afternoon. Today I would like to discuss changing the summer school policy here at College of the Desert. I want to start by asking a couple of questions. How many of us tested in at a low math? Or perhaps we are full-time students taking 12 units. Or maybe if you're like me and you started college a little late, you're ready to hurry up and get the show on the road. Well, it'll take 3 years for the average student to get their AA degree or to transfer to a university without the summer school policy. A news journal, diverse issue in higher learning, Arthur Linda Lumham states that as the state's fiscal crisis has deepened, its 3 major higher learning institutes, USC, UCLA, and the California community colleges, have cut faculty pay, laid off staff, and reduced the number of course offerings. The unavailability of these courses is forcing students to take longer than expected to graduate. First, I want to talk a little bit about who this is affecting, not having the summer school program is affecting. First, I want to talk about who the summer school program is affecting. Then I want to go discuss a little bit about why our programs are being cut. Last but not least, I would like to discuss what we can do to correct this problem or speak out against this problem. Now, I did a little research and I was curious as to why this is considered a 2-year university. However, most students take 3 years to complete. And I was wondering if maybe the terminology 2-year was just a loose phrase. However, in a survey conducted in 2004 done by ACT, they surveyed both 2- and 4-year universities. And this is how they phrased it. They didn't say, well, 2-year universities, that might take longer. So why is it taking students 3 years, an average of 3 years, to complete their courses if they're passing all the courses? It doesn't make any sense to me. Now, 12 units is a big load, okay? I have a lot of trouble with it. A lot of students can't take the extra units because they wouldn't pass their classes. Having the summer school program would allow them to make up those extra credits, those extra units, so that way they could graduate on time or transfer on time. Also, having a low math, testing into a low math, would give you at least a minimum of 5 semesters of math. Now, if there's only 4 semesters in 2 years of school, how are you going to do that? There's no way without making up those classes in summer school. So we talked a little bit about who it's affecting, and now we're going to talk about why our schools are being cut, why our programs are being cut. I found that, first of all, mismanagement of state funds is a big problem. Dr. Sandra Graham, professor of psychological studies at the University of UCLA, says ever-soaring costs, along with ever-shrinking classes and services, lead observers to fear that uncertainties may become the norm, permanently degenerating higher education in the most populous state. Now, I live in Mississippi, and I'm going to tell you, their schools suck compared to California schools. Yet, we're an example, and we're falling very short. Dr. Ming-Tung Lee, Vice Provost, which is a very high official in a college campus of California State University in Sacramento, where my sister happens to work, she's a consultant, believes the outcome of state budget battles can influence what happens elsewhere. Whatever we develop, other states will try convincing their legislatures to do the same. It's unfortunately sending a message that by continuing to cut educational costs at a state level, and then to continue to cut them at a campus level. 30 years ago, 10% of the general fund went to higher education in California, and 3% went to prisons. Today, almost 11% goes to prisons, and 7.5% go to higher education. Now, it seems to me that if you put more money into the education than you did into the prisons, there wouldn't be we would need so many prisons. Now, Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger is proposing that we drop prison costs with spending on prisons to 7% and increase educational costs of spending to no less than 10%. But as we know, he probably won't be around much longer, so that can happen. UC Provost Rory Hume said that higher education systems still hasn't recovered from the budget cuts during the 1990s and again in 2004. Because of that, he says we now face levels of cuts that is unprecedented and in its cumulative effect. Now, we talked about who is affected. We talked about why we're being affected, what the underlying cause is, and I'd like to talk about a few simple ways that we can change this. First of all, we can get involved. We can speak up. We can sign petitions. We can vote. I'm not sure if any of you know about Proposition 16 is coming up, which is a proposition that is that will allow local government, which will make local government get voters' approval before spending tax dollars. Which is something that we need. I mean, if I had a vote in where the money was going to go, I would say, then give it to schools, don't give it to prisons. Okay. Our schools need to have an institutional focus on student retention and on the outcome, not just enrollment. Effective community colleges pay more attention to progress than to the enrollment. And since funding is based on enrollment, that's what they're concerned about. So where are the priorities? What's the most priority? What's more important there? We need to ask our campus leaders to consider open access and a comprehensive mission in making changes to curriculum or an allocation of resources. Finally, we need to ask our faculty members to demonstrate the importance of educating students to play a meaningful role in the American democracy and how this priority compares with other priorities in the college. So, I have this little poster that fell. And it says, they're just a little cartoon, but just to strike your attention, don't be a stooge, vote. All the world is a stooge. We need to get into the solutions of our problems. Too many times we're standing by, hearing what people have to say, but we're not doing anything about it. And this is our education. If we want to be, I want to be the best that I can be. And the only way that I can do that is to have the resources available. And if they're not, then I have to do something to make them available. This is Go for the Go, vote on Proposition 16, because I really think that it's important that we have the right to choose where our money goes. And then on the other side, it says, we the people want our summer schools. And then the judge says, schoolhouse rocks, because it does. I have a petition here that I'm going to pass around. Now, you don't have to put your student ID on there, because I wouldn't want to have my student ID number on something that just the public was handling. So, if you could just sign your name, we'll write your name, sign it, and date it. I really, really appreciate it. And so I've talked about who is affected by not having summer school. I've talked about why our summer schools are being cut and some of the solutions. They're really simple things to do. Join Facebook. We have a college Facebook page. It's really simple, and you can put your views on there. And I've put it on there. Other students have answered me back. And it's also a way to connect with other students, So I thank you very much for your time and your attention. And have a nice day.